LBJ Elementary School is our topic tonight, and the possible closure, or I guess strongly rumored possible closure, with Darryl Taggerty, the PTA president of that school. So, have things changed? Have leaders spoken to you? Have they told you whether or not it's going to be chartered possibly, and what to what degree, and what the specialty area of this thinking or inception of the charter?
All we've received is information that there's 2 people in the process: the deputy superintendent, and one of the board members, who's also on the task force, and the chairman of their facilities committee, that their fingerprints aren't on it. Which is good, which means
carve me out of
it's
this. Someplace
else.
Yeah, okay, somewhere else.
And I'll take their word for it.
Okay, okay.
Because they're easy to watch. Because they're talking about what's on the table. And it's not, they're saying it's not on my table in front of me, and I don't have any further information about this.
But they're not saying it's not on somebody's table. I mean, they're not removing the topic from the table at all. I mean,
they're not in position to say that it's not in another location.
It's not another location. Okay.
And they were very clear when they were responding to the questions of the teachers yesterday and to my questions, that yes, the possibility exists. Bob Millay said, well, do as I do. Wake up every morning and flip to the legislature website and read the bills that have been introduced. Now, of course, you and I know, caucuses during session, 250 pages can be swapped out to something that nobody's ever seen.
Absolutely.
Administrative provisions of a budget bill are full of mischief and
well, I mean, what a great example of Senator Rodriguez's bill introduced to protect or find funding for FQ Sanchez. And at the end of the day, when it's time to vote, he didn't vote for his bill because they gutted it. It was the only thing that remained was the name of the bill and the sponsorship, which was his. Because the whole context, everything, I mean, it used to be a certain color, now it's totally opposite. I mean, and it happens, it definitely happens. The bill as introduced doesn't necessarily come out, you know, a great possibility it's not going to come out the same way it was introduced in the very beginning. Yeah. Or
the other way, like a resolution you introduced, it comes out without being engrossed. They don't even type it up on the legislative letterhead. They just photocopy it and they put a stamp and say it was passed. And they send it out to everybody as is.
Yeah. Now let's go back in regards to charter schools in general. I mean, Mr. San Agustin and Mr. Millay did basically say that what was on the table of possible closure or mergers at this point were J.M. Guerrero and Chief Brody Elementary, right?
Yes. Okay. They said that they were aware of a discussion that had been held to close those 2 schools.
Now, to close the schools to become what? To become charters?
They didn't say to become charters, just to close them.
I thought we were looking at building more schools.
In fact, that was what Mr. Millay's concern was. He said that the demographics show that population is continuing to migrate out of the south into the central and north part of the island.
Sure.
And so there is a continuing need for an additional elementary school in central or north, and then middle school or high school. Okay, I'm just concerned with the elementary schools at this point. So he was saying, don't close any of them. In fact, Chief Brody has, I think, about 300 students. It's built for 6, but half of the school is currently used as administrative offices for DOE. Yeah, and so they could close that. Yeah, but that wasn't my concern. My concern is with LBJ because it was the highest scoring in the SAT-10 results of last year. And
it's based, again, LBJ was based on early childhood education.
Yes, since it was built in 1974. Also, some teachers were concerned over the past months that LBJ was threatened with being shut down because it has a very high, relatively high, payroll. And the reason for this is because so many of the teachers have master's degrees. So you have specialty teachers.
Don't we encourage people to?
Yes, and it's all according to DOE policy, but they were concerned that maybe they were at fault for dragging the school down because they had upgraded and it's costing too much, so they want to close it down. But, you know, it doesn't matter because no matter where the teachers go in the system, they're going to get the same pay. So it's not the school.
It kind of reminds me of a safety officer going out to Ocean View Middle School because of the tree concern that was growing over a school building there, and said, you know, I can't do this. We can't cut it down. We don't have a chainsaw. We don't have a bucket truck. But he'll get his paycheck every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Those are positions that we can do without. Those are positions we can do without. Anyway, hey, time is up. We got to get going. But thank you very much. I appreciate that, and thank you for giving us the awareness of what's going on with our school.
Well, actually, we got the attention of the public officials thanks to you, and thanks to other media who are paying attention.
I appreciate
We have a meeting with Speaker Wampat tomorrow at 2:30.
Hey, there we go.